Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video to show you how to change the front camera in the iPhone 6 Plus. So the easiest way that I've found to open this phone up is to get a suction pry tool like this. It's just a little pry tool and it works so much better than using the other ones and just using suction cups on the front. Like these ones here, you can use these kind of like this, but I found it so much easier to use an actual tool like this. So the other thing we're going to be using is a little screwdriver, a Torx size 0, and also we're going to be using a Phillips screwdriver size 000. And I wanted to show you these, and I'll include links in the video description where you can find these tools if you're interested to work on this phone and to do this repair, and any parts that I'll be using during this repair, I'll include links in the video description for those as well, to be sure to check them out. So first, what you're going to want to do is power down your phone, make sure it's turned off, and then at the bottom right here there's 2 screws, and they're for the Torx that I was talking about, the size 0, and you're going to want to remove these 2 screws right here. So next, what you're going to want to do is take this pry tool and attach it as close to the home button as possible. If you have broken glass on here, what you can do is just put a piece of tape over it, and that'll take care of that, and then that'll have something to adhere to. And then so what you're going to want to do is just pry up a little bit. As you can see, I got it started already. And then what I would recommend is, mine was a little bit stubborn, so if you go right in here and just carefully, I had a little plastic pry tool and just carefully pried up here a little bit, then it started coming right apart. So next, what we're going to want to do is remove this suction cup tool. It's really easy to remove. Then we're going to want to pry up. I'll show you down in here. The next thing we're going to want to do, if you can see okay, is remove these 5 screws right here off this plate, and you're going to need the little Phillips screwdriver, and just make sure to keep them in the same order so you know which order they came off. So next, now that this connector is loose here, this plate, you can just grab it. I'm just going to use tweezers so you can see what I'm doing easily enough. And you just want to set that aside, and then I would recommend having a plastic pry tool so it for sure doesn't short anything out. And get under this connector right here, pry this connector up, and go ahead and pry this other connector up right there. And then if you lift these up, there's a 3rd connector right there. Underneath that, there's a 4th connector. So once you get all 4 of those connectors loose, as you can see there, then the whole screen comes apart, just like that. So next, what you will need to do is remove these 2 screws up here and then 1 screw here, so 3 total. And you're going to need the Phillips screwdriver. They're all Phillips, and be sure to keep them separate because some of these are different size than others. Next, just go ahead and remove this cover here, this plate, and I'm just using the tweezers so it's easy to see for the camera. So next, what you'll need to do, this already popped up, but you can just gently pry this up, this front camera. And the earpiece speaker wants to come out, so you can just grab that and set it aside. And then I'm going to turn this here so you can see better. Once you pick up, there's this little part here. You can just go ahead and slide your, if you have, I have a little tweezers here, you can just slide something like that, just carefully pry it up, and it pops up out of there. And then there's this part down here that has this little gold plate on it. If I can show it on the camera here. You'll want to come from the top and slide underneath that ribbon cable, and that's the gold part is attached to, and it just has, you can pull up gently on it, just kind of pull it forward. Excuse my fingers in the way here, and you can pry up gently, and the whole thing comes right off just like that. So as you can see, this is the part that the gold part is attached to here. So to reassemble, let's grab your new part, peel off any adhesive on it if it has some on it, the film I mean. Just go ahead and set it down, set the gold part down in first, and as you can see down in there, it has a little peg there sticking up, and the hole in the ribbon cable there, right by the gold connector, the gold spot there, and you will want to make sure that that sits down over that peg. And then what you want to do is grab this next part here and they just kind of sit down in. You can feel when they click down in. Grab the earpiece speaker. You can see it only goes one way. The part that sticks out like that, that little part there that goes down. So I'll just use the tweezers again for sake of the camera. And you'll want to just set that down, and you'll feel it kind of pop in, and then grab the front camera and push it down in where it goes. And this other part has little pegs where it goes into as well. And it just kind of doesn't want to sit the best, it just kind of wants to float there a little bit. But if you once you grab this piece like this, the plate, and set it down on there, then you can kind of reach in and tuck the camera in and everything, make sure everything's seated good. And you'll feel everything kind of click into place. And then just go ahead and put your 3 screws back in the right order. So to reinstall the screen, just grab the screen and just use your fingers or whatever you want to use. I'm going to use my fingers, hopefully you can see okay. And just start with the big connector and just kind of work your way down. The big connector, of course, goes first all the way towards the front, the top, and then the next one goes next in line. And then just do them kind of in order as they come down. And then this connector goes over there, and then this connector goes on the bottom. And you can feel once they all pop in securely. Then you grab your shield and set it right down on there. And go ahead and put your 5 screws back in. If it's a lot easier to put these screws back in, you can turn this screen carefully like this and start doing these outside ones. And then without turning it too far to get to the last ones, then you can, once the plate is pretty much where it won't move, then you can put the last ones in like that. So then next what you will want to do is just grab your screen, and there's little notches at the top here, get those started in first. Then you can just start pressing your screen in till it's down all the way. And then lastly, put your 2 screws back in the bottom down here with the Torx screwdriver. And you're all set. Thanks for watching.